Welcome to week 10, our last lesson of the advanced Python course. If my camera angle looks a little strange, it's because I have I have a blackout of my apartment. I'm on an iPad, but that shouldn't really cause any issues. Anyway, so for our last lesson of advanced Python, we're going to basically go over some revision over like every topic we've done in the course. So I'm just going to do a bit of a quiz. Yeah, so if you want to follow along, you can open a new REPL. But yeah, otherwise you shouldn't need to do much typing for this one. So cool. I'll just share in the chat the link to the REPL site again. Cool. And I'll just share my screen. Cool. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yep, we can hear you.
That's good. All right. Switching to Chrome. All right. So, this is the little revision quiz I've made. So, yeah, so over the course of our 9 weeks, we've done a bunch of different topics. We've done like lists, tuple sets, dictionary, tuple sets, dictionaries, functions, and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna answer a few questions related to each of them. Yeah, just raise your hand in Zoom if you want to ask or answer a question. Harder for me to see you guys on an iPad, but I'll try and have a look. Oops. Okay, it looks like for me to see whether you guys have your hands up or not, I select switch screens. So that's okay. Cool. So, okay, question number 1. All right, could any of you guys tell me what a list is, and can you make a list? And if you can you make a list of like food items? Just raise your hand in Zoom. Okay. Hi, Jerry.
A list is like items or things, and then you can like print it out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a list is like, yeah, a list of items. And one important property of lists is also that they have an order. But yeah, it is basically just like what you can imagine, a list of things. Can you tell me how to like write a list in Python? So if I said like food items or food like list equals, what does the list look like? So what does a list start and end with?
It has to start and end with round brackets.
Not quite. It starts and ends with square brackets, actually. Tuples start and end with round brackets. Anyway, well, got the brackets far right. So, all right, and each item in a list, what separates each item in a list? Like if I,
Commas?
Yeah, that's right, commas. So if I wanted to make a list of food items, yeah, just give me like, I don't know, 3 food items.
Bread, milk, ice cream.
Cool. Yeah, cool. And then each item in the list. So we have strings, so we need to quotes around each one, and we have commas between each one as well. Oh yeah, that is a food list. And you can just print it out. Oh yeah, well done. Cool, on to next question. Oh, by the way, people with their hands still up, did you want to ask me a question or like, or actually answer the first one? Okay. Jono, did you still have something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say, are you meant to do this code in our own thing?
Oh, yeah, you can follow along if you want. I don't think it's as important to like copy everything as in the other lessons because we're just sort of doing revision. So I think, yeah.
Okay, so
But yeah, you can follow along if you like.
yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah. And as I mentioned, one other thing about lists is kind of that that you can actually access. They're a type of ordered collection of things. So you can actually access them by their position in the list. Does anyone know how to print out like whatever item is in the first position in the list? Just raise your hand if you know. Mihiga?
So you're asking for the first plate, right? First place.
Yeah, so the first position.
Yes, so in
Yeah,
the first place, you can add first place. So if you want to add to first place, you would need to write the index number. So where you want to put that.
Okay.
So you could, if you want it to be on the first place, you'd need to write 0.
Yes, that's right. Basically, yes. What inside square brackets you would put 0, and that would get you the first place. So you can use that
like
both. Yeah, yeah. Well done. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, use that whether you're assigning like this, you can assign something to first place like this, or you can just print it out. So if yeah, cool. So if I print this out, it will just say bread. Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. I think I may have mentioned this earlier, but can anyone explain to me what a tuple is? And it's very similar to a list. Okay. Hi, Quentin.
Hi. A tuple is something where you write it down, and if you could click play, you can't change it.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the most important properties of a tuple. Yeah, once you assign a tuple, you can't change any element of it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Cool. Yeah, the other thing is it's very, very similar to a list as well. And I think, as I mentioned to, I think Jerry, unlike a list, it's filled with like round. It's like a list, except it has round brackets instead of square ones. So if I don't know, I made a tuple called T, it would just be, I don't know, and just filled with. And you can't be like T0 equals like D. If I try and do this and click play, it'll just give me an error. It says tuple object does not support item assignment. So yeah. Otherwise, it's very similar to a list. I'll just comment this out. But just like a list, you can still print out like the first element of it using the position index, which is the numbers. Oh yeah. Okay, can anyone tell me what a set is? All right, Jonna?
A set is when you like make it so that different things like do different things. So, like, let's make an example. Like we did this once. Like, let's say
I guess I'll make
dogs
a
like
set. So
different foods. This dog likes this food. This dog likes this food, and this dog likes this food. Kind of like that.
oh, you mean like each dog has an associated value, like
Yeah.
food value associated with it. Yeah, that's actually a good answer to what is a dictionary, which is really similar. So I'm just going to write this to question 4. It's like dog favorite food equals, and then you could say, I don't know, Fido's favorite food is I don't know, wet dog food or something. But yeah, that is basically a dictionary. Sets, yeah. But yeah, can anyone tell me what a set is though? Quentin?
Sorry.
Do you have...
I kept my hand up from last time.
Okay, that's all right. Cool. All right. So yeah, a set is pretty similar to a dictionary. It uses the curly braces, but instead of like having like a key and a value, like a key value pair, it actually just has like individual items. So every sort of item in a dictionary is a key value pair. One thing is associated with another thing, but like with a set, it's just straightforward. It's pretty similar to a list in that you have like, I don't know, like for example, I think we used like colors in one lesson. But I always explain it as like a set is like a collection, it's like an unordered collection of unique objects. So like the order in a set isn't really important. Unlike with like lists where you have like, you know, the first, second, and third place, or 0, 1, 2, you can't really access a set by like its position. So if I try to do like print S0, see what this does. Yeah, so set object is not subscriptual, so it's not ordered. You can't access it by like index order. And the other thing about it, so it's unordered, and every item in the set is actually unique. So if I tried to like, I don't know, add like another red to the set, so it says s.add, and then I try printing S out again, or I still get blue, red, yellow. And you notice that it prints out the set in like a different order sometimes than you put the objects in. That's because like in sets, it's acknowledged that like the order that you put it in doesn't really matter. And you can add the same object twice, but it doesn't have any effect if it already exists inside there, because yeah, it's an unordered collection of completely unique objects. You add the same object twice or 3 times, you only get one of them in there. Yeah, it's a useful type of collection because like, yeah, there's a lot of circumstances in real life where like you have collections of things, you don't care what order they're in, and you don't, yeah, and you only care about like, you know, what kinds of things are in there and not how many of them there are. Okay, yeah, as someone else said a bit earlier, a dictionary just like a set uses the curly braces, but instead of just having like every comma separated item, instead of it just being one item like this, it actually has like a key value pair. So like in this case, you have a dog associated with like a favorite food. And like every single item in this particular dictionary would be like the name of a dog plus their favorite food. So it's like, yeah, it's like key value pair, a pair of like two bits of information associated together. So spot likes, I don't know, bones. Bones aren't really a food, they're just a chewing thing, but sort of like that. And you can kind of keep going and add more entries like that. And the other thing about the dictionary is that, so similar to a list, you know how in a list you can access stuff by like something in square brackets. Like if this was a list, then you have like the 0, 1, 2 elements. Here you can actually access stuff by key, like this. So if I printed this, okay, all right. Can someone tell me what will happen when I print dog fave food Fido? Mika?
It will print whatever food you typed in for Fido. So you wrote
Which
wet dog
is?
food. You wrote wet dog food, so it will print wet dog food.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah, well done. I'll just click the green button and it will print wet dog food. Cool. Well done. So yeah. So yeah, you can actually print out any value associated with any key. But yeah, the way you have to access the values is like through the keys. So yeah, that's useful because with dictionaries, yeah, a lot of useful information in real life comes in pairs, right? Like, you know, human beings like they might own different things. Like you might want to associate like a phone number with a person, like a favorite food with a dog, or like just something with something else. It's really common. Also, if you and also I guess dictionaries are similar to sets in that they're kind of in dictionaries it's not really supposed to be important what the order of every item in, and every key is supposed to be unique as well. So you can't like put Fido as a key in here like twice or it will complain. When they complain, like if you try to assign to dog favorite Fido, it would like overwrite whatever value you put in here. So in that way, it's kind of similar to a set, but instead of like single items, you get like pairs. All right, question number 5. So for our lesson on functions, I started by showing you like examples of Python built-in functions that we're already using. Can anyone give me an example of a Python function, like a built-in function? Okay. All right, what's up?
The print function.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, the print function is pretty much the most basic of Python functions. Probably the first function I taught you guys, but yeah. Yeah. I don't really need an example there. Oh, yeah, cool. Other examples of built-in functions that you may have seen is like len, which you can use to like tell you the length of different types of collections. Like for example, I could use len on like the what was the list? The food list. So if I use len on food list, it would tell me how long that list is. And I think the answer, it should give me the answer 3. Oh, right, I haven't printed out the answer. I need to print the result of len food list. So I'm using 2 built-in functions, print and len. But yeah, this gives me the answer 3 because the food list has 3 items in it. Also, this also works on dictionaries. This should give the answer of 2 because it counts like the number of keys. Cool. So that's 2 really basic built-in functions. Cool. Does anyone remember how to make your own function? So yeah, I just want to make like a basic function that prints hello. All right. Jerry?
I was going to answer the what is a function question.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Sure, go for it.
I think
Yeah.
death.
Okay. So you want to? Yep. So yep, that is the first keyword that you use when you make a function. Yeah.
And elif.
Not elif. Elif is used in if statements. It means else if. Yeah. The next thing that goes in here is like the name of the function. So you can just give it any name you like. I'm going to give it, I don't know, print hello, but you could just as easily call it like something useless like X. All right, do you remember what goes after that? No? Okay, I might ask someone else then. All right, does anyone know how to finish my function? No. Yeah, just raise your hand if you can like finish my function that's just prints hello. Jonna?
So I think so you just do def print hello, which will be a function. And then put 2 round brackets so that you know that's a statement, and then dot like the colon.
Yeah.
So it knows to continue this on to the next line.
Yep.
Then go down to the next line.
Yeah.
And then just do print, then in brackets and speech marks hello.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is, yeah, cool. Well done. That is, yeah, the full function. Cool. All right, so now we have our print hello function. So, and if you remember, like in order to actually use our function, so if I click run here, it's not going to print hello because, you know, defining a function isn't the same as using it. So to use our function or call our function, you need to use print hello with the brackets here. And now it will actually do what's in the function. So it'll print hello down here. All right, I have a question that's like slightly more advanced. So this is make a function that adds like whatever 2 numbers you give it together. And if you remember functions, you can have arguments. Like for example, like here, this has no arguments. The user doesn't need to put any input into this function, but you can add like arguments, you know, that are comma separated inside these brackets. So it can like, yeah, you can pass in variables. So just raise your hand and see if you can remember how to make a function that can like add 2 numbers together and give you the result. It's like an adding function. Jono again? Or did you just leave your hand up?
Nope, I know this. So how
Cool.
you do it is you need to use a calculator function that is inbuilt.
Mhm.
So what you'll do is like first you'll define, wait, no.
You
You'll
see,
define like addition or multiplication. So you do
you
def.
you don't actually need to define addition or multiplication by itself, because inbuilt Python has like the plus stuff. Like you
Oh.
can just use plus operator between two things.
Oh,
But,
normally I use the define because yeah, okay. And then
Okay.
you just do the X and Y. Then you have to do the command, and then like you have to do the command return X and Y. And then you need to print, then in brackets addition, and then in brackets again the two numbers that you want to add together, and then a bracket to end that, and then a bracket to end the whole thing.
Yeah, that's basically right. So if we had like a function called addition, yeah, basically you print the result, you'd use addition and then the two numbers you want to add. So say 2 and 3. So that's right. Yeah, that's pretty much right. Yeah, the only difference is that you don't actually need to define add by itself, because Python already has all the mathematical operators sort of together. But yeah, that's basically right. Good memory. Yeah, so we use df addition, and then X and Y are like the two numbers you add in. They're like variables representing the two numbers that the user would pass in. And then you can just use, I think we define like an addition function where we, this, but really you can just do X plus Y. And this should return 5. And you can see down here, if I scroll down, 5. Yeah, it's basically right. Okay, question 8. Does anyone remember how like inputs and files work? Everyone are using like the sort of dice function, how we ended up putting like the dice roll in like a different file and then using it in main. Yeah, just raise your hand if you remember like how to do that. No one remembers? Yeah, okay. I'll just go through it. Oh. One second, I'll just turn on a light. Hey, Jar.
So for the dice thing, you need to like import math.
Oh, you mean how to make? So you're answering like how to like add the roll dice file. Actually, yeah, close. But actually, the function we needed for like the dice roll was actually random. But good thing you remember how to import modules though. Do you remember how to import modules like random or whatever?
You have to like make another like thing.
Like another file, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I meant, like another file.
Okay, yeah, that's what you would need to do if you want to make another module. Random is like one of those inbuilt modules though. Like for instance, like you can just do this, even if you haven't created a file called random. Random is one of those like inbuilt modules that you can actually use. So if I run this, it just runs just fine. But yeah, so if you wanted to like make another, so in that lesson we made like another file called like dice.py, I think, and then once you make another file like that, you can then import it like this. So yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right on like how to make a new module. You basically need to make a new file. So yeah. So dice doesn't exist as a module, random does. And if you want to make dice exist, need to make a file. So I'll just do that in this editor. So files, and then click plus to add a file, and make dice.py. I can't get this to be a lowercase. Okay, now I can. But yeah, that is how to do module imports. So if you have an existing module that already exists, you can just use import. If you are trying to make your own module, you need to make a new file for it. But yeah, that's basically how that works. And if we had like functions in dice.py, we could actually use them inside main. All right. Next question should be like a little easier. So how do you, so this is about user input. So how would you ask like the user of your program their name and then print it back to them? Anyone want to answer that? It's basically the equivalent of using the ask block in Scratch. Jared?
So you type answer space equals input, and then in the round brackets, it's with the speech marks, what is your name, and then with the exclamation question mark, and then in the next line you type print, and then speech marks hello, and then like comma, and then space %s, and then where the speech marks end, and then you do another %sign and then answer.
Yeah, that's right. That's basically right. Yeah, well done. So cool. So yeah. So in order to get the name, you use input, you put what question you want to ask them in here. So in this case, what is your name? You can assign it to a variable. You can typically call this variable whatever you want. You could call answer, you could call it name. It doesn't really make a difference as long as you make them the same. And yeah, and for print formatting, you can use %s like this. I think that's what I did there. You could also just as easily just use the like commas. For instance, this would also work. I'll just leave it like this. Yeah, that will run. Yep, so in the console, it'll ask me my name. I'll just type it here, press enter. Oops, I accidentally. This will work now. Yeah, cool, hold on. All right, so what are you up to? Oh yeah, we're up to, I just wanted to reinforce, yeah, you can ask the user like many questions, like be like color equals input. What is your favorite color? Oh, don't forget every time that you like run your program, when you have like when you use the input function, it won't continue until you actually type in an answer in your console. Right. Because I don't want to type in an answer every single time I run this quiz, I'm just going to comment these lines out so they don't run. Okay, for question 10, I'm going to like make a file so that we can read it. Just add to the file list, add file. Oops. I'll call it sample.txt. Yeah. This will be a lowercase. Not really letting me do lowercase. There you go. Fill sample.txt with some text. Anyway. Okay. Can anyone tell me how you would open and read this file using Python? Okay, Jonna, do you want to have a go?
Yes. To open the file, I'm pretty sure you have to do, it can be anything. Like, so for example, you can just do ph equals open, and then put in brackets and speech marks the name of the file so that you can do it.
Yeah.
And then under that, just do print ph, which is the file dot read, which prints it out for you so that you can read it. And then brackets to show that it's that, and then extra bracket. And then after you're done, normally you just under that do like whatever the file is, which for us is ph dot close, and then brackets.
Yeah, that's totally right. Yeah, good memory. Cool. Yeah. Let me just run that to make sure it works. Yeah, you can see it has printed out the whole contents of the file. Yeah, well done. Cool. And yeah, you can use whatever variable name you like. But like, I think I used FH because it stands, well, to me, it stands for file handle. But yeah, can totally name it whatever you like. Oh yeah, there's also, so yeah, that's the basics of how to open and read a file. I think and good job also remembering the close part. Sometimes a lot of people forget to close files after they've finished using them as well. And just a reminder, you can also open files in write mode using the 2-argument form and W. So this allows you to actually write words to the file. Although I'm not going to demonstrate that. Cool. All right, these last few questions are just on the last couple lessons. All right, question 11 is a bit of a hard one to explain. Even I have trouble explaining this one. Yeah, can anyone like sort of explain what a class is? So this is what we spent the last 2 lessons on. Okay, Jemima?
Well, I don't know the exact code for it, but isn't
okay.
it where it groups things together?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, classes. Yeah, you can understand it as being like sort of grouping of objects. Like for example, we made like a flower class, and then every flower object was a part of that flower class. You can, or every string is like a member of the string class. So yeah, it is basically a type of grouping. Yep. Some other features of classes is that like right. Can anyone tell me what members of like a particular class might have in common? As a hint, like some of the stuff you define when you make your own class is what is common to lots of, like what is common to every member of that class. Jerry?
I wasn't going to say about the question 11. I was going to say about the question 10. Why would you like always like close the file?
Okay. So yeah, closing the file just means there's a concept in basically if you don't close it, like a file handle will remain open on that file for like the entire program. Otherwise, like it'll basically be kind of open until the end. And like if other programs on your computer need to use that file, and you've like and you've exceeded like the maximum number of like open file handles, it can be problematic. It's good to let go of like files when you're not using them, basically. It's unlikely to cause any real problems, but it's like good practice to do it. Don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but.
Thank you. I understand.
Cool. All right. The other thing I wanted to explain about classes, I guess, is that they're not just a grouping of objects. So what do classes have? So when you define a class, they have this thing called attributes or properties, which are like the variables associated with that class that every one of their objects has. And they also have methods, which are the functions that every member of that class has. Like, I think I demonstrated to you guys that like every string has like a method to tell like whether like a method to turn it into like all capitals. Every like number, like every float type or every decimal type has a method to like tell you whether it's an integer and so forth. So yeah, I think these last two things are like especially important to remember when you're actually making your own classes. So like, all right. So, okay, question 12 is like, can you make a class to represent like vehicles, I guess? So yeah, when thinking of doing this, just remember like, what do vehicles have? I guess you can like they have like wheels, they have a color, they have, yeah. So when you're thinking of designing a class, the attributes or properties and variables tend to be like, what things does that class have? Like, does it have a color or a size? Does it have wheels or arms or legs? And when it comes to functions, you usually think of it in terms of like, what does it do? It's almost like sort of nouns and verbs. Okay, Jono?
So what you do is to make a class. So first of all, you just start off by doing class and then whatever class you want. So for this, it'll be a bus.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you do dot, like the column to show that you're going down.
Yep.
And you're continuing it. Then do def to define it. And then you do init, and then you can do like you can do multiple things, like what noise it makes, what type of thing it is. And then you need to like define them below that.
Yep. Another thing you need for init is like self, because every method inside a class also requires, I think, self to be in there. But yeah.
Okay. And then you can just define them, and then you can print them. Sometimes you can use %s or like speed.
Yep. So yeah, basically what you need is like you need to like assign them. So you have like self dot type equals type.
And then after you've printed them, I'm pretty sure that's all you have to do.
Yep. And yeah, you can have, yeah, that's about right. So yeah, you can have like a generic like function to just like describe itself, like description.
Like when we did the thing with animals, and we like defined like their noise, their species, and the so for me it made them like introduce themselves and like things.
Yeah. Cool. Very good memory though. Yeah, in this case, bus, like say like I am a bus. I make noises. For the type, maybe I'll just put the type before the bus. Yeah, self dot type, self dot noise. And when you make a bus down here, you can be like, I don't know, you add in the noise and type here. Let's describe what like noise buses make apart from horn noises. And the type of bus, I guess, kind of like shuttle buses, school buses, city buses. Yeah, don't know how to divide these. I think it's a city bus. And then you say bus dot description. And down here it says, yeah, I am a city bus. I make horn noises. Yeah. Cool. All right. So I was going to also make a, I meant in order to do like the exercise afterwards, where you like have a class inheritance like system where you have like, one class that inherits all the functions of another one. So say cars, bikes, and buses are like all vehicles, right? Like it'd be useful to have like a sort of vehicle-based class. I'm just going to write one here just for as an example. So similar to what we have the bus, so vehicle, self. Yep. So vehicles have usually have say type, color. I'm going to say number of wheels. Yep. Cool. And then you can have like functions like drive. Since I can't actually make it drive across the screen, I'll just say like, I am driving. And then the generic description of a vehicle would just be like, self print, I am a something vehicle, whatever its type is. So type, then the color, then vehicle. I have so many wheels. And do like self dot color, self dot type, self dot no wheels. Yeah, you don't need to type this, by the way, if you don't have to. We don't have much time left, so it's easy to just look at what I'm doing. Okay. Anyway, so question 13. So explain, could someone explain to me what class inheritance is? Feel free to use the examples above of like vehicles and buses if you like, or you can use the one we actually used with animals or whatever. Right. Can anyone tell me what class inheritance is or how it works? Okay. Jared?
Class inheritance is like when you make this class and then like it's like say your example, it's like only vehicles, and then they like every time you like create a new vehicle, they like copy from what the vehicle class needs
Mm-hmm.
to have.
Yeah, it's basically it. Yeah, for example, like, yeah, imagine if you needed to make like a separate class for every single one of those like things. Like you need to make a class for like a bike, a bus, a car, like all the types of vehicles, and you didn't want to like continually rewrite, like, you know, because they all have like a type, they all have colors, they all have wheels, and you don't want to rewrite it again. So you can just sort of, yeah, it sort of copies the, you know, like attributes and methods to the child class. So yeah, good explanation. And in the example of like the vehicles, like the parent class would be like vehicle, and then it could have like child classes of like bus, car, bike. Although, yeah, and the beauty of like child classes is like they have everything that the parent class has, but they can also have more stuff or different stuff than the parent as well. So you can have like more methods than the parents that you can just add on. It can have more attributes as well. All right. I only have about 4 minutes left, but who wants to have a go at like creating a car class that inherits from like this vehicle class I made up here? Jerry again?
I forgot to lower my hand, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Jonah?
To inherit things, what you have to do is, so you need to
Hmm?
do the thing. So you need to first say, what is it called again? I forgot what it was called. Use some command to import it to this new class, and then you can like add different things if you want as well. But I forgot how to do it.
Okay, yeah, that's what we can do. We don't call it importing, we call it inheriting. But yeah,
yeah.
basically, yeah. Right, I will show you how to do it. So basically, say we have a car, it's like the same kind of syntax as making a normal new class, except in the brackets, you name what class it's inheriting from. So like this, so vehicle has like nothing, no brackets here, but car has these brackets. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's quite similar to like importing everything from vehicle into car. So right now, if I had like car equals car, that's just like creates a new car. It will actually end up having like self-type color, number of wheels. I actually need to provide that. if I just did this and added like the color, type, and number of wheels, it would make a car for me. But I want it to have more stuff than just what a vehicle has. So I'm going to override the init function. So, so I want the user to only have to provide the extra additional information that a car has. Well, in addition to like anything that, right. So if we look at vehicle, type, color, number of wheels. So vehicle type would, for a car, would always be car. Color can be whatever color, and it always has 4 wheels. So we can just use color. We don't need number of wheels. And the other thing that cars have that's like nothing that's important for cars is like make and model. So like brand of car and what sort of model it is. So we'll say, we still want to use the init function of the vehicle. So we use super.init, and then in the vehicles init, we use type, color, and number of wheels. So the car's type is car, its color is whatever the color is, and the number of wheels is 4. So say car, then color is whatever the color the user provides, and number of wheels is 4. And then in addition, we also want to assign the make and model. So we have like self.make equals make, self.model equals model. All right. Now I think we're getting to the end of the lesson now. So I'll just quickly make a car. So just say car, let's say it's like silver. It's a Toyota and it's like a Yaris. And then you can do like car.drive, which is a function from the parent class of vehicle, and it will be there. Anyway, I think time's about up. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this revision. Hope it like helped you remember what we've been learning this this semester. And yeah, have fun on your holidays.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.